Hello. Today I'm going to go over how to find the Heartgem's Burden music sheet, as well as the Fellows of Windsward music sheets. Um, Both can be farmed in the same area, whereas the Heartgem's Burden only drops in the Amarine Temple area, whereas the Fellows of Windsward can drop pretty much anywhere in Windsward from any mob as well as from any chest. Um, there are, I believe, five in total, one for each um, instrument, except for the flute. There are two guitar sheets instead of the flute. However, the area where we're going to farm for Heartgem's Burden is a pretty decent area, uh, which is, as I said, shows here in the Amarine Temple area. That is in the upper right of Windsward, right here. That encompasses this entire area. Now, if you get close enough to these two zones, you will move out of the Amarine Temple area, and the mobs in these two zones do not count for the requirements of dropping this particular page. Usually, what I do is I'll run a route around the edges of the temple area through all the ruins here, kind of zigzagging back and forth, collecting the chests. And then once I'm finished with that, I will actually run a route in here, killing mobs until I get the page I'm looking for, whether it's one of the Fellows of Windsward pages or the Heartgem's Burden page, as these mobs can all drop both pages and both can be particularly difficult to find. Now, if you wanted to farm somewhere else for the Fellows of Windsward, there's no problem with that. I would just make sure to go and look at the list on the New World database and look through the mobs that are actually on the drop list or have a potential to drop this page to make sure that the mobs you are farming actually drop the page that you're looking for. Because I found that a lot of these are incorrect and it will say it drops in a specific area, but the mobs in that area don't match up with what the New World database shows as what can drop. Like the mobs that show on New World database that can drop the page don't spawn in that area. In particular, in this Amarine Temple area, everything is called Moon Shadow something or other. Where if you look through the list, there's 15 pages. That is a lot to look through for any of the Fellows of Windsward pages. There is only one that drops it. That is a Moon Shadow, and that is the Moon Shadow Defender. It's right there. That is the only one other than the named boss that is at the top of the uh, temple area before you go into the um, locked area. That if you've done the quest, you can no longer go in there. I cannot confirm if anything in that area actually drops these pages, but that is a potential area that you could farm if you have not done this quest yet or have not completed the quest and can still go through the gate that is there. And you'll see that gate later on and that you can't go through it. But the particular named mob we're looking for is the Kar-El, the Gatekeeper. I After doing the chest run, I will do a little route afterwards where I farm him as well as the Celestial Defenders uh, in the area and just kind of run a little loop that is almost continuous is there's a few times that I've done it fast enough to where I've had to stand around and wait a little while for things to respawn. So first, we're gonna go into this area and go get all the chests. And as I said earlier, you can see the moon shadow is the suffix for all of these mobs here. The defenders are these crawlers, and they're the ones you're really looking for if you're gonna be killing them, because like the sentinel, the mages, the archers, the reavers aren't on the list for mobs that can drop it. It's like the enforcer, like the guy I just killed there. Let's see here, Moonshadow Defender. Those are ones you definitely want to kill. They are on the list of potential mobs to be able to drop it. You want to make sure you get the chests because they're going to have a somewhat of a higher potential of dropping the music sheets you're looking for. I have gotten this particular page 3 times in an attempt to find the last remaining Fellows of Windsward page that I needed, as well as when I was farming for this page on its own. And there you go, Heartgem's burden from a chest right there. But I'll continue. These are kind of oddly placed, and you kind of do have to zigzag through to make sure you get all of them. There is another named mob here, but he's not on the list of mobs that have the chance of dropping this page. There's one last one on this side before we start heading towards the bottom zone. Climb up these rocks and run to the end where that archer is over there. I try to make a point killing those defenders whenever I come across them while running this route, since they are the only ones of the non-named mobs that actually has a chance of dropping this, at least according to the New World database info. I will now and then kill a few extras just in case, to see if maybe they will drop something for me. So far, I've not had luck with that. Now we're almost done with the chest run portion of this zone. there's one more further over that way. And another one on the other side of this temple. Oh, and some further in there. I believe there's two over there. So now we've collected all of our chests -1. And we're going to go ahead and get started on our loop route that I do. I will collect the last chest, or last few chests on the while I do this loop. I like to start on this side of the temple. It's the far right side of the temple. This side doesn't have an entrance here, but the other side does, and there's a chest in there, as well as a taskmaster. Well, this is where I like to start my loop at. It's fairly easy. If you finish and you're waiting for things to respawn, you can jump up on this pedestal and just stand there and wait. If you have to go AFK, it's a pretty decent area to just AFK for a little while. We're gonna run around, kill all these defenders. We're actually gonna come out a little ways now. There's one more that spawns over here. Gonna run across the front of the temple here. Kill that one, run up this way, kill this one. There's another one to the right in the bushes here. Two more at the bottom of the stairs. And we go back up the stairs onto the temple. And since we already killed those two in the middle, we're gonna go right. Kill these two. Now normally after killing this archer here, you'd run up the stairs here, but we're gonna go and get this last chest that's over here. Two chests, rather. There's a little one right here. And then in this entryway, there's a taskmaster with a larger chest. Then we go up top, and there are 4 more defenders and the named mob, Karl, the gatekeeper. And normally what I would do is I would do the chest run, come up here, and start doing this loop until the chest up here respawned and was collectible yet again, and then go back around and run through all the chests again. This is a page that can take quite a while to try and get. I think the first time took me like 2.5 hours to finally get it. But as you see, the mobs have already respawned. I did take a little bit extra time collecting those chests. But with the use of different abilities and such, you can make this run extremely fast. And a lot of times, like I'll throw Grapwell here and just stand next to this guy, killing all 3. A lot of rabbits in this area if you want to try and get some sumptuous rabbit while you're at it. Yeah, I'll just run this loop, and the mobs in particular we're going for is the gatekeeper, as well as these crawlers, the moon shadow defenders. And I have gotten, in particular, from the mage that's up top, I have gotten one of the Fellows of Windsward pages. Uh, Even though they're not on the list, so the list isn't necessarily 100% set in stone. There's a chance that any of these mobs can drop either the Heartgem's Burden or any of the Fellows of Windsward pages. Say this one is still called Moonshadow Mage, though he's not on the list. I have gotten the Fellows of Windsward page from him. Oh, it's that one up. But that would be the loop until the chests are starting to respawn, which is an hour, I believe, that you can recollect from chests that aren't elite chests. I would just keep running this over and over until I got what I was looking for. On average, I'd say it probably takes me about 2 hours to get Heartgem's Burden. Sometimes getting one of the Fellows of Windsward pages within that time, sometimes not. As you can see, like running this, you're not using abilities to get the run done faster or kill multiple enemies at a time. They're constantly respawning as you're coming up onto them, or as you're killing the enemy just before them. The Gatekeeper is one that does take a little bit longer sometimes to respawn. His timer's a little off. If you get the timing down just right, you can start getting them all killed pretty much instantly as they respawn. But for now, that's the route.